Hi, we're in a different area. The sun is super bright in my normal spot, so we've had to adjust a few things here. Ooh, it is getting brighter. Okay, let's read. We're on what page are we on? I didn't even check. We were talking about Miriam, and Miriam had gotten some type of, but did it say specifically it was leprosy? It says skin disease.
I'm pretty sure that Miss Jolie said that it was leprosy.
Okay. Excuse me. Sorry. Now, Moses, the Lord said to Moses, send some men to explore the land of Canaan, which I am giving to the Israelites. Sorry, did I say we're on page 74? We're on page 74 going into 75. From each ancestral tribe, said the Lord, send one of its leaders. When Moses sent them to explore Canaan, Moses said, go up through the Negev. Had a little extra spit there. And on into the hill country. See what the land is like, and whether the people who live there are strong or weak, few or many. What kind of land do they live in? Is it good or bad? What kind of towns do they live in? Are they unwalled or fortified? How is the soil? Is it fertile or poor? Are the trees in it or not? Do your best to bring back some of the fruit of the land, because it was the season for the first ripe grapes. So they went up and explored the land from the desert of Zin as far as Rehob, toward Lebo Hamath. When they reached the valley of Eshcol, they cut off a branch bearing a single cluster of grapes. It took two of them to carry it on a pole between them, along with some pomegranates and figs.
Little giant people, giant food.
Giant food. At the end of the 40 days, they returned from exploring the land. They came back to Moses and Aaron and the whole Israelite community at Kadesh in the desert of Paran. There they reported to them and to the whole assembly and showed them the fruit. And they gave to Moses this account. They said, we went into the land which you sent us, and it does flow with milk and honey. Here is the fruit. But the people who live there are powerful, and the cities are fortified, and they're very large. We saw descendants of Anak there. I think of the giants, but I'm not sure. Then Caleb silenced the people before Moses and said, we should go up and take possession of the land, for we can certainly do it. But the men who had gone with Caleb, except for Joshua, said, we can't attack those people. They are stronger than we are. And they spread among the Israelites of bad reports. They were like, no, we can't, no. And they were trying to tell everybody. These men said, sorry. The land we explored devours those living in it. All the people we saw there of great size. We saw the Nephilim, the descendants of Anak come from the Nephilim, and we seem like grasshoppers in our own eyes and in theirs. Excuse me. That night, all the members of the community raised their voices and wept aloud. All the Israelites grumbled against Moses and Aaron, and the whole assembly said, if only we had died in Egypt. Here they go again with that only we had died in Egypt stuff. They keep saying that. If only we had died in Egypt.
I really get upset at the Israelites. I mean, God brought them out, and now they just wish to go back in Egypt. I mean, if I were God, I would just send them back to Egypt.
Well, our position is much better than the Israelites, and we still complain. So I get it. It's easy to look from the outside and be like, can't you see the Lord is leading you to the promised land? But then, all they had was manna and some quail and desert and tents.
That's hard to rejoice about.
And then us, we have all these toys and air conditioning and lovely food, and then we still complain. And we say, oh, when will we get to the promised land? They said, if only we had died in Egypt or in this wilderness. Why is the Lord bringing us into this land only to let us fall by the sword? Our wives and children will be taken. Wouldn't it be better for us to go back to Egypt? We should choose a leader and go back." Then Moses and Aaron fell on their faces in front of the whole Israelite assembly. Joshua son of Nun and Caleb son of Jephunneh, who were among those who had explored the land, they tore their clothes and said to the entire Israelite assembly, "The land we passed through and explored is exceedingly good. If the Lord is pleased with us, he will lead us into the land, a land flowing with milk and honey, and he will give it to us. Only do not rebel. Do not be afraid of the people of the land, because we will devour them. Their protection is gone, but the Lord is with us. Do not be afraid of them." But the whole assembly talked about stoning them. They were like, "Look at these positive talkers. They're just speaking a bunch of positive stuff. They don't even know what they're talking about. They're going to lead us in to be destroyed. Let's stone them." Then the glory of the Lord appeared at the tent of meeting to all the Israelites. The Lord said to Moses, "How long will these people treat me with contempt? How long will they refuse to believe in me? In spite of all the signs I have performed, I will strike them down with a plague and destroy them.
Yes!
But I will make you into a nation greater and stronger than they." But Moses said to the Lord, "Lord, then the Egyptians will hear about it, and by your power you brought these people up from among the Egyptians, and they will tell the inhabitants of the land about it. They have already heard that you, the Lord, are with these people, and that you, the Lord, have been seen face to face, that your cloud stays over them, and that you go before them in a pillar of cloud by day and a pillar of fire by night. If you put all these people to death, leaving none alive, the nations who have heard this report about you will say, 'The Lord was not able to bring these people into the land that he promised them on oath, so he slaughtered them in the wilderness.' Now may the Lord's strength be displayed, just as you have declared. The Lord is slow to anger, abounding in love and forgiving sin and rebellion. Yet he does not leave the guilty unpunished. He punishes the children for the sin of the parents to the third and fourth generation. In accordance with your great love, forgive the sin of these people, just as you have pardoned them from the time they left Egypt until now." So Moses, this is a hard passage to understand because, it seems like the Lord is ready to wipe these people out, but then Moses reminds him of his promises. But then in other portions of the Bible, the Lord says he will not forget his promises. Even if we are faithless, he remains faithful. So you have to think about all those things together. And there may not be one right answer, but to me, I'm wondering if the Lord is kind of testing Moses to see what Moses will do, because the Lord is saying, "I'll make a new nation of just you, Moses."
See if Moses is prideful and say, "Yes, strike them down."
That's my thought, is I'm wondering, because the Lord doesn't change. He's slow to anger, period. He's quick to forgive. And I'm wondering if he's seeing if Moses has the character to continue to lead these people who have been consistently rebellious and complaining. So I think Moses passes the test. We're on page 77. We're going to stop there.